Ah, there we are. Part two of New Year's Eve. I don't have too long because Karen is waiting for me downstairs, but I couldn't let it end like that, certainly. Cindy found us right away. Welcome back. I think it's because there's so many people probably streaming because we have a new ether wire, we have a new modem, we have a new router, and we were on for quite a while, well over an hour already, and we just had to know that it was going to crash. It hasn't been doing it anywhere near as much as it used to, and it was easy to get back on this time. And part one of this, which if you tuned in later didn't see, please watch part one of our New Year's Eve pop on to pop off. We sure had a lot of fun. Ted Richards, wow, fast turnaround, Jack. Yeah, right. I just made sure the other show was loaded and up, the first part, and we got Marty back, Aisha's back, and Lady Likes Humor. I remember you. Well, that was fast, pretty fast. Neo, yay, Regina Terwilliger joins us. You're back. I didn't even know you were here, Regina. Now I do. Jack drank some beverage, so he signed off. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I have done that during a crash. I have said, "Hey, wait a minute, here's an opportunity," but I don't need to because I forgot to bring any water over here, and the water I have is from probably I don't know, June. So that little bit of water, not too appetizing. Lynn Redgrave is back, and she says, "We're back." Hi, Lynn R. Where are you from again? I forget. I know I probably have asked you too many times before. Todd Bradshaw, thumbs up. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. Such, a wonderful blessing to me, but so many others are as well, It's nice when you don't have to worry. It's 2024 was a very competitive year. I'm not going to talk too much about that now, but it was a very competitive year, and people with better high tech skills and what. Of course, I have Andy when I need him. We did some stuff too, and people enjoy the top 50 countdown, which is still not finished, but I just did another 5, and that video is doing very well. It brings in new people that tend to be, some of them, let's say, not fans and hostile to the people that are. And if you're both of those things, I don't care if you don't agree with me, that's your prerogative. If we're either here in the United States of America, or you're free by being God's creation, hopefully, literally free, hopefully. You need 2 screens. I've got 2 screens, Sam Sammy. What should I do with them? I'm looking at one now. If I were to go to Spotify, which I can't do live, I'd be using the left screen. So I don't know. Yeah, there's probably something I could do, but it always says click here to restore the stream, and I always click, and it's never one time done anything but continue to circle around after I hit that button. So Miles, we are back. Someone was commenting on my appearance, and trust me, my best days are behind me, but I've showed this pic before. This is my tight perm days. In other words, I just got the perm, and it's really tight curls in the 80s. And I was in the production studio down the hall of the castle when someone snapped this picture right here. 1983, 4, something like that. And I think I had a little acne there, I was see the reel-to-reel tape recorders behind me, and the cartridges. They look like 8-track cartridges that we use for the commercials to go into the cart machines. A microphone with no windscreen. That's hard to believe because we had windscreens back then. And so that's the kind of time when I was, working with people like Sharon Fox. I was in the middle of that story. at the Wall Radio Castle, WALL, AM and FM. I worked sometimes on the AM side, but I had a regular show on the FM side. And so Sharon Fox, that was her last name professionally, Foxx, comes to work at the station, and she's hot. She's hot. And but there are A-list disc jockeys like John Perry and Bobby T that are, they're going to mow me down. They're going to mow me down, and I know it. I know it. So I said, well, I'm not on the list. So I didn't try to get on the list. I had tried in the past and failed with somebody else. Um, Her name was Bonnie. Oh, how I love Bonnie. But anyway, another DJ. Um, so wouldn't you know, one night I picked up the request line about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. 92 Rock 7, this is Jack. Who am I talking to? And she said her name. And she said that she was an all-night answering service operator. She would dispatch ambulances. She would call up the gynecologist at 3 in the morning to say, Mrs. So-and-so is having her baby. If it was the guy who delivered two doctors worked together, Sherman Chudow. They're probably both retired now. And I would call Dr. Chudow if he was on call. I would call Dr. Chudow, and I would give him the information, and he said, well, just call her back and say, oh, we don't do that anymore. He had this sense of humor. I just woke him up, and he's got to now rush to the hospital. So that was Dr. Chudow. And so she would be answering calls all night and listening to me on the radio. And she said she'd like to come up to the studio and see it, on her night off. And I thought, oh, she sounds kind of young, and I said yes. But I knew she wouldn't come alone. And she didn't. She came with a friend of hers. And she met me, and she was only 19 years old, and I was 28 years old at that point. But she seemed to take a liking to me, and this was all very unexpected. So this was like in December of 84. And by sometime in the spring, we were engaged, and we were married in August of 1985. Just a beautiful young lady with a good heart. And so soon after we got engaged, she was actually in the studio that night visiting, and but she had left the studio, and I get a call on the request line, and who is it but Sharon? And she really wants to talk to me. It appeared that maybe my time had come on the list that I didn't even know I was on. My turn had come. And of course, I'm thinking, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then my wife-to-be walks into the studio, and that sure reinforced that notion. So I said, oh, I'm engaged. She's here with me in the studio, and that pretty much ended that conversation pretty quickly. But I just thought about that. So there you go. So we have joining us 39 and 14 likes. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. Hunter Elgin joins us. Happy New Year, Jack and friends. Happy New Year to you as well. Of course, you can tell about yourself. I can say I'm a nice Asian gal. I never knew that. Now you're making me think of all those pretty Asian gals at Flaming Grill. Not that I would notice them, because I'm with Karen, And these poor young ladies, many of them very cute, they work like 10 a.m. to 10:30 at night. They probably, in my opinion, probably then get picked up by a bus, that they own, that the restaurant owns, and they all probably live in the same place, this huge place somewhere. That's what I'm thinking. And they do have 1 or 2 days off a week, and they rely on tips. So I'm a good tipper. I always believe in being a good tipper. Um, Karen and I went to the bakery today, which is a place I should not be going, but it was New Year's Eve. And just before we were going in, there was a chap there, and he said, "Could I have some money for food?" They always say that now. They put the word food in there. "Can I have some money for food, please?" And he smiled at me very nice. And Karen was giving me the eyes of no, don't do it. And I said, "Well, I got to go into the bakery because I know I had to break a bill or two, and I'll see you when I get out there." And so when I came out, I put $9 into his hand and said, "Happy New Year, Happy New Year," and he thanked me so much. And Karen said he'll be chasing you the next time he sees you. But you do that. What he's going to use it for, I do not know. But I felt it was the right thing to do. I felt it was the right thing to do. So I did. Happy New Year to you, Hunter Elgin. That's a pretty cool name. You could use that on the radio. Too bad radio's dead. You'll have to do a podcast, Hunter. What would you talk about in your podcast? Have I missed anybody here? You are reading my mind tonight, Jack. Really? This could be a whole new career for me, Ted. I'm a little suspicious of those people, though. Of course, I don't follow mediums or anything like that. The word of knowledge is what Christians would say when they receive some information, or they're a prophet or a prophetess. And you always have to test the spirits. The Bible tells us to. There's a difference between educated guesses, of what's going to happen, say in 2025. You're pretty sure that say you were pretty sure that say Biden was going to lose. I mean, his approval ratings didn't take an expert, and then he put uh, Harris in there, and she could win one vote when she ran for president. She dropped out before the first primary, and everybody pretty much doesn't want her to be president. It's not a female male thing, because I think I could vote for Tulsi Gabbard as president. I think I could. I want to see how she does in her new job. I hope that she could become a recess appointment. She's on the fringe. Pete Hegseth, I'm not sure about either in terms of getting easily, uh, uh, you know, uh, not nominated, but easily confirmed. Confirmed. I was confirmed. I was in the Catholic Church at that time, and I have a picture on the wall here of me somewhere with a red robe on, uh, outside in front of the Candidos with Fritz the German Shepherd. I can't find that now, but maybe another time. I hope everyone is doing well that's on here. I love hearing you. Thank you very much, Jack. Well, thank you, Bertha Blackwell. No relation to Mr. Blackwell, who was very well known when I was a kid, and a teenager in the 70s. He was a fashion critic, so to speak. Great picture, Jack. Well, thank you, Todd Bridges. I mean, Todd Bridges. Where did that come from? I know where it came from, but you weren't on Facts of Life, right? No, you were not there. Not Facts of Life. Different strokes. I'm going to have a stroke if I keep talking like this. No, no, no. I reject that. I I reject that in the name of Jesus. Um, so thank you, Todd Bradshaw. Bruce 4227. I think you need to do the Rush music every Saturday night show. You know what you just suggested? What it would mean to me, Bruce? um, even if I got, say, 3,000 views on a live show, I wouldn't make 10 cents in the terms of monetization. Um, I would love to do a lot of music. Well, first of all, you'd never hear it. I have to tell you that, Bruce. Google in real time, you'd still hear my voice, but they would edit in real time. They would take the music out. You see other guys do it and stuff. And yes, you can get a music license, which costs a huge amount of money. And it's only good for some countries. Other stations will other countries like uh, South Africa continent, for example, and maybe I want to say Ireland would block it. I don't know. Maybe not. The UK is good. You can get a license that would be for America, the UK, I think Canada. It's very expensive, like $1,300-$1,400 a year. It would wipe out my tips right there, you know? And so they would take it out. When I do the Homage to Rush series, and I'm glad that apparently you have checked that out, we're trying to build an audience. I really believe in the material I'm doing. It's the only show I've ever really done here on YouTube and said after I listened to it, yeah, all right, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm my own worst critic, I'm my own worst critic. I've cringed at several of the things I've done, but for the most part, I'm okay with what I've done. But when I listen to the Homage to Russia, and there are 7 of them now, and they all have actual titles to each program. The current title is something like "How Will History Judge Joe Biden?" Something like that. In my channel here, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and yeah, I'm happy with all the shows. Now, I was supposed to play a clip from Victor Davis Hanson on that program that just debuted a couple of days ago. They're always pre-recorded, and I use "My City Is Gone" by the Pretenders, which was the Rush Limbaugh theme. Bum bum ba da da dum da 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 bum bum. It's so fitting, but when you do something, when you try to put a song up in a pre-recorded video, when you get to the point as you're loading it, you'll see that it's taking a long time to get the approval. They are, however they do it, checking to see if I can use that song and under what terms. Sometimes, like when I shared the Bob Joyce song, they are willing to share profits that the video will make. Now, keep in mind, if the video doesn't get at least 1K views, I'm not making anything on it. As far as I can tell, that's how it works. 1,000K. So, and I don't get, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 K video hits. I don't get 60, 70,000 views often. I have one that's 128,000, but that's not the norm for me. It's more likely, somewhere between 1,000K or 15K, 20K, what have you. And it's not a big amount of money you get for each, 1,000 views. But if you're getting 500,000 hits, or if you're getting 1.3 million, that's a lot of hits. So the creator can live off of just what he's getting from those hits, whether someone hits the thanks button or not. When you're at my level, you can't live. Especially keep in mind, I've been doing this topic. We're coming up on our 7th anniversary of doing the Bob Joyce topic. And I try to do as much positive pro material as I can. Because like you, I love the pastor too. But I'm also telling a chronological story. And I want to kind of be true to that. So when something needs to be noted, I do. And there are people that hate that I do it, that I tell the story, and there are people, and they want to ban it for everybody else, of course. That's how that usually works. And I always tell people when I first started this topic, and many times after that, I said, if Pastor Bob has some objection to what I do, all he has to do is video message me on Facebook, and ask me to stop or not do this part or that part. And I would. I'd say, yes, sir. And I would. I wouldn't record the message and broadcast it. That's crazy. And I imagine it would be a pretty short thing. I might ask him how the weather is, but I wouldn't try to interview him in the process. But anyway, I don't think any other creator has done that I know of. I've never heard of it. I'm the only one, and most people don't put their face on it at all, and they put other people's work. We'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow night. Boy, I can yabber on. There is virtually no food I ever met that I didn't partake. Oh, you're like Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul. I hope he's in heaven. I loved Anthony Bourdain. And such a sad way that he went out. We're talking about Mikey from Orange County Choppers, or Mikey. He'll eat anything. That guy, that kid, I remember Mikey. Give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything. I can be sisters. Now you've got to show me a picture, Aisha. You've got to email me a picture because now I'm, that much more curious because you said you were Asian. Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, at gmail.com. Jack the Fair Guy, like you're going to the carnival, fair, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Eggplant. Karen makes really good eggplant. And only she wants it. Andy is definitely not going to eat the eggplant, but I'll have some. And I sort of like it, but sort of it reminds me of like I'm eating squid or something in there. It's not going to give me the rush that lasagna does, or manigot, or stuffed shells. Or Karen usually wants to put the spinach when she does stuffed shells in there, a little bit of spinach. That's okay. Doesn't hurt it at all. And it makes it healthier, I suppose. I used to make cabbage casserole years ago with ground beef. I no longer use meat. That's right. Cindy is not a carnivore. And we have a camera posted in her kitchen to make sure she keeps that vow. All greens good, but look boring. Great carrots. Chip cabbage. Well, you can juice those things too. We have a juicer, but we haven't used it in a long time. Now I take supplements. I can't afford Balance of Nature. That's a couple $100 a month. I can't do that. But I take, something similar. And I take Strike Force, or whatever force it is. Strike Force? One Force? Beetroot chews. I do that every day. I haven't had my beetroot yet. Joe Worrell's here. Mikey was his name. You got it, Jack. A wealth of information. Well, I just, grew up with that commercial. It was right up there, Joe Worrell with, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Was that an Alka-Seltzer commercial? And then there was, that was one spicy meatball. That was one spicy meatball. Remember that one? And of course, if you're anywhere in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, even Connecticut, Crazy Eddie. That was a very gifted announcer who was on WOR, they tell me. I never heard his radio show, named Jerry Carroll. He wasn't Crazy Eddie. He was doing the Crazy Eddie's spots. And he would get real close to the camera. Crazy Eddie, his prices are insane. Oh, yes. We had a Crazy Eddie in Middletown for a while. Very late in their history, we had a Crazy Eddie, and I bought a few things in there. So those were the days. I don't think Richard is back right now. The fifth martini just put him to the couch. But Manicotti Jack, you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail right on the head. It must have been while you were doing carpentry for me. You hit the nail right on the head. Or as Anastasia said in Well, I heard that she said in that, one of those 50 Shades of what was that called? I don't know. 50 Shades of Grey movie, she got drunk when she called Mr. Grey. This is what I was, you know, I can't do that. I'm breaking a commandment if I lie. Yeah, I saw her say it. Uh, once, twice, three times. I don't know. Karen, too. Why not throw her under the bus, right? Um, she calls Mr. Gray, and they just at the beginning of the relationship, and he's giving her mixed signals, and now he wants to go find her because he's called her and he can tell that she's drunk and he's concerned. And she says, "Yeah, 1 minute you want to see me, 1 minute you don't." And then he says something, "Yeah, you 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 hit the hail right on the Ned. You hit the hail right on the Ned." And Don Johnson, he only had one thing to say: "What is my daughter doing in these movies? What is she doing?" Did Don Johnson see those movies? There's a conundrum if there ever was one, Rita L. Ariga. We used to call my oldest Mikey, he's 6'4" now and 52. Eddie is the next son down. I see. Yeah, he was in the vacation movies. Eddie, right? Yeah. I'll have the Yeller. I'll have the Yeller at the $1.99 buffet. God knows what it is. I'll have some of the Yeller. And don't get chintzy on me now. Randy Quaid, a gem who basically makes his living doing fan conventions these days. You know, they're afraid to hire him, because of things that have happened in recent years and how how sane is he and that. But then when he goes out there, they're making a mistake because when he goes out there, the fans surround him. His line wraps around the block to see Randy Quaid. Sometimes Chevy Chase will be with him. Interesting thing about Chevy Chase, I have to be real honest with you on Chevy. In the last year or so, I thought that I saw some real cognitive decline in Chevy Chase and that his wife was doing most of the talking for him and stuff like that. But in the last month, he seems to be rebounding. He seems to be rebounding and he's talking with more, was he on Prevision or something like, I don't know, a president might take? I don't know. But he's more, there's more depth to his conversation. And he told the, was it Dick Ebersol? Does he still have anything to do with Saturday Night Live? No, right? He didn't say it to, uh, not Warren, but whatever his name is, the guy who he didn't create Saturday Night Live. He came in, Lauren Michaels. Oh my goodness, I need the Prevision. But supposedly he talked to who's ever running the executive producer. And he said, you should be embarrassed by the kind of television you're doing now. You should be embarrassed. Oh dear. So there you go. 46 watching 29 likes. I gotta get downstairs, guy. I gotta get to Karen. I've left her down there for an hour and 45 minutes on New Year's Eve, and if I don't get down there soon, she'll be upstairs on the other side. I like putting Italian bread in the oven with tomato. Yes, lovely, Sammy, lovely. Or you can also put some garlic butter on it too. No, that'll make it even better. But that's delish. Of course, the carbs are high. The tide is high, and so am I. I think I talked that song up that way several times. Here's Blondie at 92 Rock 7. Those were the days, my friend, we thought we'd never end. Mary Hopkin is still alive. She is. She is. I'm glad to report that Keith Carradine is still alive. I thought he was dead. I mean, I know his brother David died, and I know how he died. I mean, those seeking Rush are not seeking what was it, 80s rock band that I can't stand. I used to get requests for Tom Sawyer. At some point, I wanted to say, I'm never going to play Tom Sawyer again. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Rush. Not, not Rush Limbaugh. That's the man I honor in our Homage to Rush series. Please watch that, subscribe, like, and share it if you can, if you dare. It's about 37 minutes long usually. That's where I seem to come in, somewhere around there. I know when to stop. I won't go too long there. What happened to the Rush band? Yeah, well, um, one day people said, "Oh man, if I never hear their songs again." It's just like, everyone wanted to sound like, what is his? He's a great singer. I'm not saying he's not. The guy from Creed, who was recently at a Sebastian Maniscalco. Am I saying it right? Maniscalco show. The most popular comedian right now is Sebastian. He did like 5 nights at Madison Square Garden, the main hall. He went from small clubs to 5 nights at Madison Square Garden. That's how big he is right now. He's bigger than Ron White. He's bigger than any of them. Play some Bill strings. See, I can't play anything. They'll cut it in real time. I wish I could, but it's so when you see people doing it, somehow they have a music license, what have you. Let's face it, if you're getting a million hit views, you'll have more money to do those kind of things. But again, it would be blocked in some countries, even if I bought a music license. So I don't know. If I want to do music, I have to do it in a pre-recorded video. And I'm either going to hear that you can't use it at all. No, you can't put this video up. Or you can put it up and they'll share the profits with you. Pastor Bob does that. His record company does that if I put up a Pastor Bob song. Or I will hear that you can't monetize this video, but you're free to put it up. So every time I do Homage to Rush and I use that Pretender song, I'm not going to make a dime via monetization, but it really doesn't matter because I'm just building an audience and it's only getting like 200 to 300 hits a show. So, I'm not getting the 1K views. Is this too much information? Selena M., Happy New Year to you. Fried green tomatoes. Fried green tomatoes. Yes, awesome. We should also smother down green pumpkins with onions and shrimp. Smother down green pumpkins with onions and shrimp. It sounds like that could be a song title. I grew up eating it, really. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, what was that movie about fried green tomatoes? That was Kathy Bates, right? Something interesting. She's done so many things, and of course, Misery is one of our favorites. She was great in that with the late James Caan. But she was making it sound in an interview recently that she felt that the phone had stopped ringing for her. She did American Horror Story and was so good in that, but that was a very edgy show. But it had some really good moments, especially with her and other gifted actors. And yeah, I'm just making a decision now about something since I've been here so long. I think maybe I should change because I thought it was going to be Thursday night. I think I should change Worldwide Ramblings to Thursday night. So I'm considering Karen in this decision. I think Thursday night, and I'll put up a promo on that because people that didn't rejoin us will think it's tomorrow night. So let me do it Thursday night at 10 p.m., which is when we often do it, and then Saturday night at 10 Eastern as well. All right? Jack, watch out. Karen has you in the doghouse, and we have it. It's right under our porch. She puts straw in there and a blanket, and, so if an animal wants to go in there at night, like a cat that doesn't have a home, there's this one cat we've been feeding for 3 years. His name is Buddy. It's a beautiful cat. He's a killer, though. He kills chipmunks and what have you, and he always seems to be getting into a fight. But when he's got a beautiful coat, to him. And he comes and he won't let you pet him. He'll let you get close and then he'll back away. And Karen will hold the door open on a cold day and say, "Come on in, buddy. Come on in." And he looks at it and he almost does it, but he always decides no and backs away, always backs away. So, and the neighbors next door, the couple next door feed him and they feed him well too. So Buddy eats fine, but he's out there in the cold and he would not acclimate to being trapped in a house. He would not. He loves his free life, and in the summer, he's in all his glory. That cat has impregnated more cats than you can imagine. That cat is a hoa. Oh, dear. So there you go. You've been so kind to me, you folks. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. So Thursday night, that's what I meant, and then I got the day wrong. Thursday night, 10 o'clock for Worldwide Ramblings, okay? We'll do that then. And Saturday night, who knows, though, when I could pop on. I could pop on during New Year's Day for a little bit. I could. I'm not sure, but I could. And it could be at a whole different time. So have your notification bell on. Most of you have subscribed and hit the like button and the notification bell. Don't forget to send me that picture, Aisha. Now you got my curiosity up. I want to see if you look like one of the ladies at Flaming Grill. I know, you're probably a little older than they are. They're kids. You're not a kid, Aisha. I know you're not. Only a kid at heart. Only a kid at heart. Happy New Year, everyone, for those of you in the UK and Australia. And other places, it's already 2025. In Gay Paris, it's already 25. In Gay Greenwich Village, which is down in lower Manhattan, it's not 2025 yet as I'm speaking to you right now, but it soon will be. Really don't want to look in on Anderson Cooper, but I think Karen's going to have that on. And so, I used to love Anderson Cooper. I don't know what happened to him. He sold everything he learned in the first week of journalism school down the river because he hated Trump that much. So there you go, buddy. Nobody watches you anymore. You and Joyless Reed over at SNBC are all in danger now. You're going to get, they're going to cut your salaries. It's very public news, or they're going to let you go altogether. What are the Backstreet Boys? It was the Backstreet Boys. Bye, bye, bye. You did it to yourself. I've done those things myself, though. Todd Bradshaw, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for hitting the Cash App Media Guy 56. I appreciate that. I will be emailing you, I assure you, soon. But I'm going to run downstairs now before I find the door locks changed. Karen understands, and she's shy, and I keep trying to get her up here. Maybe someday. You can see her on a few videos when we're outside on location. Yes, we have no bananas. Believe me, every day I've been here for 14 years, there's been a banana on that kitchen table. That apparently is crucial to life, that there must always be bananas. And it almost makes me go bananas. Happy New Year.